what patterns do you see again and again that link to failure? And, is there any that sort of still surprise executives?
Well, the 3 points that I've talked about, executive custody, strategy, and precision configuration, are the three big ones that give rise to failure.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the top 7. Lack of
Right, okay.
ERP alignment with core business strategy, lack of executive decision support, month-end reporting inefficiency. It takes you 3 weeks to produce a board pack instead of a couple of days. Dependency on implementers. The implementers are still there years after you went live. They should have left ages ago. Lack of audit readiness. The audit is a pain and costs you a fortune. Administrative inefficiencies. People have difficulty posting transactions. People don't trust the system, so they have spreadsheets outside the system, etc. And profitability drain. The business is just running inefficiently and it's costing you money. Those are the 7 big issues. In fact, I've recently designed an online survey which asks respondents to rank their ERP in terms of those 7 factors.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's good to obviously highlight them. Is there anything else that falls outside of these 7, or from your career, the obviously we mentioned the 3 main ones, but then these 7, most of the time, is it one of those issues? There's not anything else that it can fall out of?
Well, that's a trick question if ever I heard one. George, there's an underlying factor which permeates pretty much the entire industry. And when I say pretty much the entire industry, is that I have only encountered 1 or 2 people who don't do this. So what I advocate is top-down configuration. You start with the C-suite, you start with the CEO, you start with the strategy, and you define that, and that defines the ambit of the configuration. So you drop down progressively with the precision configuration. Now, I'm going to say something that the average ERP person is going to scream and say heresy.
Go on.
So the problem we have is we start with process. We map processes, we configure processes, we processes till it's coming out of our ears. And we're starting with mid-level management who have no clue what the strategy of the business is. And we're trying to build up to strategic executive decision support. And the one thing that you can be sure of is you're not going to get there. So the industry way of implementation is predicated on creating failure, which is why you get at least 70% of ERP implementations do not deliver what was promised at the strategic executive level. And you can search on Google, you can search on Perplexity, you can go into any search engine and you'll find that number. It's about 70%. And then if you go and you talk to people offline, privately, off the record, it's probably closer to 95%.
Yeah, I have heard from the community that it's even higher.
Yeah.
Than the 70%.
Yeah. So just know, that it's really embarrassing for a CEO to say, my ERP is a disaster. So publicly they'll say, no, it all works well. Doing what I've done in the past with these briefings, they kind of bring all the dirty washing to the course, and then they call me in and they're absolutely naked, saying, this thing's not working. And so I contend that processes and design output, the 6th step in my process is what I call a laboratory in war games. And I say you specify the processes. You don't go through a whole lot of discovery of the processes. You specify the process, because once the system is fully and properly and accurately precision configured, the processes drop out of the process and they're all strategically focused. And that way you get it right. But it's a radical change for the industry.